rando type of videos happening. Hey you guys, how you doing? So there's my van, old top view of the van. Here's a side view of the van here. Whoop, here we go. And I'm just here at a park. So it's a 2008 Dodge Grand Caravan. And well, hello there everybody. How you doing? I'm actually just going for a walk right now. It feels weird being away from my van, but I'm just doing some slight suburban exploring. I'm at a nearby park. I've never been here before, but it's actually quite nice. And what's pretty cool about here is this scene right here. This is in the middle of the city. You'll see at the back there, over there, all these cars. But then you have like this kind of scenario. Doing some exploring, and it's nice to find these little places. And this looks like some kind of creek. You hear the traffic. I know somebody had mentioned it before, that instead of traveling all the way out somewhere really far, try exploring your area where you're at. And I think that's good advice. I've been in all kinds of different places in Ontario, mostly up north, but just within here, within the GTA, I've got these really cool places. Just gonna walk here. This is kind of interesting. Just like right in the middle of the trail. Not bad. And it doesn't look like anything. Let's take a look. Well, one thing's for sure. There's definitely not a whole lot of elevation happening here. Whoa! I'm gonna crouch underneath here, and you see this kind of side view. You can hear all the cars and the noises you hear when you're in the city, but you're in this sort of forest area. Okay, well, let's see what else we could find here. Crouch out of here. I'm not really one for leaving my van parked, but today I am. This is in the middle of the city, and you find these little sort of areas that looks pretty relaxing. And there's the silver cabin. I'll be back soon. So right now I'm going to be walking where the traffic area is. It's actually quite nice. See what we find here. This is sort of, I guess, suburban and urban hiking, GTA hiking. But I definitely have to rest just because I'm not as fit as I used to be. So walking through again, I found this area. Show you. Whoops. It's kind of nice. So hey guys, so there's the road behind me, and I just found a little pathway to the park, and it looks really nice here, and it's just so weird you have this mixing of city and park. So we've got this little area here. Pretty cool. A little clearing area. Whoa, check this out. You can have a picnic here. Okay, now this is pretty cool. It's so relaxing. So I thought I'd have a seat and just take a break, seeing that I don't have the same stamina that I used to have, although I am getting better. I don't know if you guys know, or maybe if you're new to the channel, unfortunately I got really sick a few weeks ago, and to the point where I was coughing a lot, and well, I'll just say it, I had COVID, and it was an experience that I hope nobody ever gets. And that was a diagnosis, is that I had COVID, but it also affected my bronchial part of my body, and I had to go on medication, and it's been something that I hope no one experiences. And I am getting better. I feel I'm much better, but I just don't have the stamina or endurance. So I always say, take a break and rest up, and then you can start up all over again. Sort of like life sometimes. Okay, that was pretty cool. Sort of dipped into that little area there. And again, I've never been here before. And I've been within the GTA. There must be a lot of places like this in the GTA where you have a mixing of the city, and then you have places like this. And maybe I'll do some exploring within, I guess the expression is staycation, exploring within a near proximity of where I am. Seeing the price of gas being not almost, but ridiculously high compared to what I was used to paying a couple of years ago, even last year. Well, so far so good. Nice relaxing walk. Not really sure how much of this I'm going to be doing, but I think it's good to sort of go for a walk every so often, to sort of get an idea. Granted, I haven't done this like where I kind of parked my van somewhere that I'm not familiar with. You guys could probably already tell I'm quite nervous about it because it's not what I do. Usually if I do park my vehicle, my van, I know for sure that it's okay to be there. The other thing is it's usually up north and there's never almost any problems parking up north, but here I'm within the GTA and who knows, maybe parking somewhere may not be the best thing, right? Or might be totally okay. I'm not sure. We'll find out after this portion of the video when I get back. I'm hoping for good things. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Looks like some blossoms happening here. It's actually quite nice. Oh, it's beautiful. Wow. Hello guys, how you doing? So I just found some blossoms here. This is a very nice area. Good place to go for a walk and maybe just chill out a bit. Oh, maximum recording time reached. Oh, this sucks. Okay guys, so apparently I ran out of room and I only have a few seconds. So maybe I'll be cutting off the video unless I essentially delete some scenes. Promote videos. Okay guys, I'm back. And so what I ended up doing was I deleted some old footage that I had that I know I backed up, right? But you know, in terms of photos and backups, there is a way so that you can actually back up your files, like your photos and videos online. I just use Google Storage Photos and it's a good place, but what I also do is I download them onto a hard drive, and hard drives now are really affordable. You know, you can get like a 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes for under $100. Way back in the day, I bet you some of them will know about this. Back in the day, a 2 gigabyte or 1 gigabyte hard drive was in the thousands of dollars. That's how insanely affordable it is nowadays. So I think there's never been a better time to do digital stuff, right? Just because everything's much more affordable, and I mean the cost of everything going down. So it's good that when I first started up within the digital industry, the internet / computer, everything costs so much more than it does today. One of the first computers I bought wasn't in the hundreds of dollars, it was in the thousands of dollars. And never mind about video editing, that was insane stuff. But nowadays, so much easier. And that's why I think the whole YouTube thing and putting content out it's gotten easier as well. And I'm happy that's the case, because now, you know, people like myself could just sort of put videos together, put it on YouTube. Everything's paid for in terms of hosting and serving it up, and essentially everything's there. So that's always really handy. So did you see that shot, you guys? I'm getting really fancy now. I don't typically take like those type of shots because it's so kind of, you know, set up, right? But I kind of think it's important to kind of do those kind of shots so you get a sense of what's going on, because it's actually something that I actually do as well, right? But it's just setting up the shot that's a bit of a pain. And I've done it before, and it kind of didn't feel totally natural, but I think to get a sense of what's going on, I think it is natural. I don't even know if that makes sense. To get a sense of what's going on, I think doing those kinds of things is natural because it tells a story. And I think that's what I'm trying to say here is, as I'm doing these YouTubes, I'm realizing I want to be able to tell a story, a true story, a story of what I'm doing and how it applies to my life, and how it could possibly apply to your life, in terms of maybe what I'm doing right now is something you want to do as well, right? And I think you should. I think everybody should have some kind of fortress of solitude, a place where they can escape, like an escape pod, right? So for example, going on a little tour within the city and looking at stuff like this, that's very cool. I mean, seriously, check this out. It's so beautiful. I mean, it's just so gorgeous. And you know what's funny? I'm not even a blossom type of guy. I mean, but you know, it's just so beautiful. Like, I don't know if the video does it justice, but I really like how this stuff looks. I mean, I can appreciate it, okay, but when you're actually here looking at it in real life, and hopefully some of the video captures the look of this, I think it's pretty cool. Now, there are individuals, there are people who like kind of really flock to areas where there's lots of blossoms. And I know in spring there's this sort of big blossom thing happening within the GTA, specifically in Toronto, you know, because it's in the news, and people, like hundreds and hundreds of people, if not thousands, actually go out and take a look. That's not what this is here. This place is pretty quiet. No, nothing happening here. Oh, what's that? Look at this, another little area. I'm gonna take a look at it. Oh, you know what? I think this is the part where it probably goes up to where my van is. And you can probably tell I've got sort of this apprehension with my van. We'll be there soon. We'll be back. Wow, this is such a random thing I'm doing. I don't even know there's a point to this video, except just me walking around, showing you guys stuff, what I've seen. I mean, I looked at it first, and then afterwards I kind of like, oh, check this out, right? You know, so far I've been here just a little, about an hour now. So maybe I'll be heading back soon. I'm getting slightly hungry. Maybe I'll make myself some soup. And I realize now why I had to park over there, because there's actually no place here to park. So that's another issue. Unless I park over there across the mall, and maybe that's where I'm supposed to park. Okay guys, I think I've had my fill of blossoms for today. I'm gonna walk back to my van, and hopefully it hasn't been ticketed or towed, right? But it's a beautiful day today. People riding bikes, people walking. It's actually not very busy here. This is in the city. So I'm walking back, You know, I bet you some of you guys could probably figure out where I am. And there we go. Okay, we're gonna be going back to the road here. This little bridge area that they have. So, and there's a little river there. Pretty cool. Okay. I'm realizing there's not a lot of vehicles here, and I'm hoping because it's during the day and it's not busy at all that I'm allowed to be here. But I'm kind of looking at the signs now, and I'm wondering if this place, if the entire area is totally for, like, it's called a Rotary House. That'll give you some clues to where I am, maybe. This is a nice quiet spot. Seriously guys, it's an absolutely beautiful day. Okay, so that's good. My van is still there. Oh, my van. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm back next to my van, and fine, maybe some of you are kind of saying or wondering, hey, you didn't even have to worry about that. Well, you're probably right, but I kind of did, because what just happened there is something fairly new to me. Like, see, I do that stuff when I'm up north, you know, for example, Algonquin area, or Georgian Bay, Algoma, Kawarthas, where there isn't a dense population. Trailheads, yeah, I'll do it as well, but I'm always cautious. And this, while not a trailhead, I'm not familiar with it, and so I kind of hesitated. But I guess everything's okay, right? I guess it'll take time for me to sort of get used to it. Anyway, guys, it's hot, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my fan. I'm going to keep the windows rolled down, and maybe I'll try out my AC. Okay, I'm finally in my little home. My little home away from home. I felt kind of stressed out there for a bit, and because I'm just not used to it. And you guys just saw me with some pretty raw feelings about how I feel about my van, and I don't ever recall kind of like talking that way, letting you guys know, but that's how I feel about my van. And you know what else? It's really hot. I don't know if you guys heard that. Sirens, because I'm in the city, right? But that was actually a pretty good walk. I really didn't do a lot of walking. Mostly I did sort of sitting around and contemplating stuff, thinking about stuff. So I'll close this off. Nope. So I'm glad to be back in my little home away from home. And I did mention it. I mentioned earlier about how I got kind of stressed out, and now that I'm here and everything's okay, I feel kind of silly. It's just that I'm not actually used to that. Like, I've done it before where I went to a trailhead up north. Why do I keep mentioning it? I'm not going to mention it anymore. At least not a whole lot. Anyway, so because for some reason I'm holding on to this subject for some reason because I think it's important. So one of the things that I'll probably do is figure out a ways so that I'm less apprehensive. Like I do have security features to my van that I installed. I know enough about it, but sometimes I don't always feel it's enough. And I don't know if this is a common thing with van lifers. Uh, I think in many ways it probably is. Okay, I think in many ways, we all have similar concerns. Granted, maybe my situation or my loss may not be as horrible or worse because I have a home base, right? However, if it's your home, like think about it. Think about if this was, let's say I didn't have a home base. I didn't have a home base, and someone broke into my van and drove away with it. That'd be really horrible. And I think that's happened to people as well. And I feel really bad because I remember reading something about that. I'm just going to turn on the fan 1 second. There we go. Oh wow, it's actually quite nice. I don't know how that affects the sound, but I'll try to talk a little clearer. But yeah, so having like your home away from home, like what I have right now, if someone were to sort of break into my van and take off with this, not sure why. There are other better vans to break into. Well, maybe they just kind of like this, right? Or maybe whatever. At least I have something to fall back on. Whereas if this, if your van is your home, I could see why you kind of wouldn't want to leave it out in the city and you'd be kind of sticking around close by it. So what I'm thinking is maybe there's a way to find out more about how to secure your van. What are some things you could do so that you feel a little safer? And while I'm thinking about that, I'm going to attempt to fold. Have you guys ever tried to fold a blanket in a van? You have to be really, really patient, right? You have to make sure you get your 4 corners, right? Okay, that. Woohoo, there we go. There we go. And fold it like that, and then bam, we got ourselves a full blanket. Oops, sorry. Got this, right? Put that aside. Place that there. And I'm going to place the yeah, there's not a whole lot of space in this vehicle, but it sure is, it does get very comfortable. Like right now, I'm totally comfortable. There's a nice breeze coming through from the front, and then I have the side door open, and it's just perfect. And actually it's quite calming right now. And I've got my bench seat right here. I've got my curtains, right? See how that works. I'm gonna have to check. Whoops! I'm gonna have to check my video, my previous video that I just filmed, to find out what was I talking about. I was talking about security for the van. So we went from visiting this place to walking around. I'm showing you some blossoms, and then me worrying about my van, and then me walking back, talking about worrying about my van and getting towed, and then finally getting to my van, being totally, thank goodness. And then now I'm in my van, I've got the fan going, and I'm totally comfortable. And I'm realizing, hey, let's talk about security. And security is probably a really good subject to talk about in my next video. Or maybe it could be I've done the video and I've posted it. I never really know. And that's absolutely the total truth. I never really know. I never really know what I'm going to be posting. It literally is sort of fly by the seat of my pants. And I've done videos where, and I mentioned it in the previous video, that I never ended up posting because I thought it was stupid, or I just didn't feel like posting it, or something happened that I didn't post it, right? But lately I've been sort of thinking, well, maybe I should post those videos, because the last one that I posted, the one previous to this, seemed to work out okay, and I was happy about that. Or maybe it might be previous to the one from previous. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to put up a link, and then you guys can see what I mean. So the videos I create, I'm hoping at least the next set of videos that I create will have more focus. And so instead of like, this is like a really random video. Okay, well, there you go. Maybe that's what I just call it, a really random video, because what I just did there is what I will do with my van, except I'm usually inside. I'm not walking around too far away from it, right? Oh, I mentioned it again. You know, because the only other time I really kind of left my van alone was when I would go running. And what's interesting about me running, like trail running, is I always ended up running faster because I wanted to get back to my van as soon as possible. Okay, it seems to be getting busier here, and I'm cool with that. But it's also, this is really wonderful breeze going through the van right now, and I'm really enjoying it. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I don't know what to call this video. Maybe I'll call it the random video, because it's just all over the place. But one thing I did get out of it was, how do I make my van more secure, right? And in some cases, maybe you can also get some ideas as well. But I have a couple of ideas, and how to stay safe with your van, or how to keep your van safe, or maybe something like how to keep it from getting towed, right? I think that's really important. I think that's got to be like a nightmarish scenario for van lifers, where you park somewhere and it gets towed. Literally, your home gets towed, or somebody steals it. Like, you know, right now it's not like somebody could go over to a house and like kind of steal the house and drive away with it, right? So if you're like a full-time van lifer, it must be of great concern where someone can literally drive away with your home. Yeah. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some research, and I'm going to present to you the information that I find on Google and on YouTube, and present that, and hopefully I can put together a good list. But look for it soon, and hopefully it'll be available soon. I'm going to have a very busy next few weeks, just because I've missed so much already across the board because I got sick. But now I am feeling much better. The medication that I'm taking is like completely legit, and so I'm very happy about that. Okay, you know what I was thinking the other day? Is kind of planning out the kind of videos I want to make. That's something I haven't done yet, and it might sort of up the ante for my YouTube channel, because right now it's everything's kind of random, right? So I'm hoping to have a little more organized approach. So far everything is sort of like, you know, flying by the seat of my pants kind of thing, right? And when I look at some other videos, they're just so organized, just so tidy, and I don't think I have that kind of feel to my videos, and maybe I never will. Like I do have some kind of planning, but it's not like some of the stuff that I've seen out there, you know, where it's like really nice stuff, and I want to be that. I want to do some of that stuff. Maybe one day I'll plan a nice video, and then I'll have some of these rando type of videos happening. You never know, right? So we'll see where that goes. So I just realized that I'm close by an area where I can get some food, and it's actually pretty good. So I'm gonna get some food.